Hello, I'm Carrie Locke. This is CS115, Introduction to Computers, and we are continuing part 2 of chapter 3. Now, if you think that we covered all of the fun stuff in part 1, you would be wrong, because now we still have embedded computers and what could happen to hardware. We still have all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, so embedded computers. Embedded computers are special purpose computers that function as a component in a larger product. Out of the way there. Product. Okay. They're usually small and have limited hardware. These are the ones that are all around us. Invasion of the machines. So there was a movie years ago where all the toys came alive, all the electronic toys came alive. Okay, they're all around us. In consumer electronics, in mobile phones, digital phones, televisions, cameras, camcorders, DVD players, answering machines. If people still have answering machines, I'm sure there's still some out there. Home automation. This is an exploding area. Thermostats, sprinkler systems, security systems, vacuum systems, appliances, lights. Just go into Best Buy and you'll see that this area is just exploding. Home automation, your own alarm system, your own cameras, connecting your home lights to your Google or your don't I have Google, don't answer me Google, to Google or your Alexa. Automobiles, anti-lock brakes, engine control modules, electronic stability control, airbag, cruise control, navigation systems, GPS receivers. Again, in automobiles, they're all over in our automobiles, and we'll have self-driving cars, so they'll really be everywhere. Process controllers and robotics, remote monitoring systems, power monitors, machine controllers, medical devices. Computer devices and office machines, keyboards, printers, fax machines, copy machines. Did I mention appliances there? Appliances, home automation, appliances. Ports and connectors. So a port is the point where a peripheral device, such as a keyboard, printer, monitor, etc., attaches to or communicates with a computer to send and receive data. A connector joins a cable to a port. What your book didn't talk about were adapters. I'll get to that in just a minute. A connector at one end of the cable attaches to a port on the computer, and a connector at the other end of the cable attaches to a port on the peripheral device. Examples of these. So before I go into this big long list, let me explain an adapter. An adapter would change a connector from one type to another type. Provided, you got to be careful with adapters because adapters don't always carry all of the same signal that is needed from one type to the next. Keep that in mind as I talk about this next section. I know that might not make a lot of sense now, but it will as we proceed. So types of connectors: headphones, speakers, microphones. VGA is video only. DVI-A, which is analog. DVI-D, which is digital. There are two types, single and dual. DVI, two types also, single and dual. DisplayPort, which carries audio and video. DP Mini, DisplayPort Mini. HDMI, which carries audio and video, mini, and so there's HDMI, there's HDMI mini, there's HDMI micro. So there's three types of HDMI. There's Firewire, there's RJ45, which is Ethernet, which is your network plug. Well, it looks similar to a phone. It looks similar to a phone port. It is not. Thunderbolt, which Thunderbolt is the same port as your DP Mini. Just keep that in the back of your mind because that may come in handy someday. So DP Mini is the same as Thunderbolt. May come in handy someday. There's USB A, B, C, and there's 2 and 3. I'm sure there's a 1, but don't worry about it because nobody ever says USB 1. Okay, so USB 3 is much faster than USB 2. And you'll notice that by your USB port has blue inside of it. So look inside of your USB port, it'll have blue. USB-C is a different type of connector. It is a small round connector. USB-C will carry a video signal and an audio signal. So that's a little bit different than USB. USB-C natively does not carry a video signal, which is one of the reasons why USB is becoming so popular. Another reason it's becoming so popular is because HDMI is proprietary. So every time you see an HDMI port on something, they paid a royalty to HDMI. So it's another reason why USB-C is becoming so popular. Now, back to the adapter that I talked about. You can get an adapter to change these connectors from one type to another type. So say you want to change a VGA to a DVI because your monitor has a VGA port and your computer has a DVI. It's not a problem. They sell them all the time. I use them all the time. One of the things that you have to remember are silly things like, it's not silly when it doesn't work, but VGA does not carry the audio. So it on your laptop, if you're plugging in, you can't convert HDMI to VGA, and the reason is because HDMI carries the audio and VGA does not carry the audio, so you'll lose the audio. And if you do have to do something like that, and if you can find an adapter that does that, remember you have to plug in the speaker wire. So my whole point in telling you all of that is pay attention to the signal that is being carried on these connectors, because otherwise you could find that you're very, very frustrated. Wireless connectors. They connect peripheral devices to computers without cables. Bluetooth. So why not just use Bluetooth instead of Wi-Fi? I mean, Bluetooth is popular. Why can't we just use Bluetooth for everything? The reason is because it's short range. It also uses radio signals, but its maximum is about 33 feet. Bluetooth also uses pairing instead of authentication. It uses pairing. The two devices pair to each other. It does use encryption. You'll see it on things like mouse, keyboard, printers, headsets, cameras, pointers, and lots of other things. More and more. You're going to see Bluetooth more and more. Excuse me. Wi-Fi. It is not wireless fidelity. If I'm wrong, then somebody please let me know I'm wrong. But everything I've ever been taught, it is not wireless fidelity. It is also a radio signal. It conforms to the 802.11 standard, and that was written by the IEEE. That's Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEEE. And that the range for Wi-Fi is approximately 300 feet. You can get devices that will go longer than that. And if you're going through, concrete walls, it may not be as far as that. So depending on what the signal has to pass through determines whether or not it can make that amount of distance, and it is also determined by the device that's transmitting the wireless signal and the device that's receiving the wireless signal. So these numbers aren't they're not set in stone. I don't say my wireless router is not working because I can't get 300 feet. There are a lot of factors that can contribute to it. Near field communications, close range signal, radio signal, transmitted between two NFC devices. That sounds like a lot of complicated terminology, but you know these devices. These are those touch your smartphone to the pay device, and it'll automatically charge your credit card that's on Apple Pay or Visa Pay. Drive through Taco Bell and touch your device to this credit card device and just automatically charge your card. So you've seen these, the smartphones, digital cameras. I didn't know digital cameras had it until I read the book, but computers, televisions, terminals, credit cards, ticket systems have them. They have to be within an inch or two of each other, and that's for security purposes. AirDrop is another use of this. So two devices that will communicate with each other to transfer files, to transfer items back and forth between two devices. Again, they use that near field communication. Protecting hardware. Theft and vandalism are a risk. In my experience, vandalism isn't so much a risk because people don't vandalize it, they just steal it. If somebody's close enough to vandalize something, they're just going to steal it. They're not going to vandalize it. Physical access, limit the physical access and monitor the physical access, either by key card or by cameras. Limit the physical access by gated fences, by locked doors, locks. You can put locks on the devices. So there are laptop locks. So if you go to a hotel, you can physically lock that device to the table. It may not be a deterrent, but the idea is to keep honest people honest, and to hopefully they'll pass over yours and steal the guy next door's, which is really a terrible thing to say now that I think about it, but that's the idea. GPS tracking, if you do have it stolen, they can track it, and you can say, hey, officer, the device is at this location. Alarm systems for either the device itself or the area that houses the device. Other theft deterrents are full disk encryption, so full disk hard drive encryption. Remember that those only work, this is a common misconception, full disk encryption only works if the system is turned off. If the system is on and you're logged in, even if you're logged out at the moment, if you've started up the system, that has decrypted the hard drive. So you must shut down to have your full disk encryption work. Another thing that you can do, though, is file encryption, so that if it is stolen, your sensitive data, such as your tax returns, are not out there in the wild, as is said, for somebody to post on eBay for a price or to sell to the highest bidder. You can also do folder encryption. Another deterrent is fingerprint and or card reader access. They limit the ability for somebody to access the machine Honestly, though, if they have physical access to the device, they're going to most likely get into the device. The only time I heard that people can't get into the device is when they said that the FBI could not get into the iPhones because they couldn't get past the security protocols for the iPhones. And I don't know if that's still true today. I haven't checked lately. Hardware failures. Hardware failures can happen from aging, random events such as power failures or surges, water, the sprinkler system goes off, there's a flood, rain, a hurricane, um, any natural disaster, um, or program errors itself, program errors that or hacking it, program errors um, that cause the system to fail. Surge protector, also called a surge suppressor, is an overvoltage or a power surge. That's when the power goes above a specific level. And an uninterruptible power supply, or UPS, is a battery backup system. And it's also a surge protector. So it protects from both undercurrent and overcurrent. Generally has 1+ batteries. Um, and those are available for large server rooms or data centers, and they're also available for personal computers. So if you wanted to make sure that your personal computer, say you were running a web server off of a personal machine, then you can buy one of these for yourself. They're not overly expensive when you're getting on the smaller scale like that. Health concerns using technology. Repetitive strain injuries, RSI. They can be injuries of the muscles, nerves, tendons, on the right way here, ligaments, and joints. Technology-related repetitive strain injuries include tendinitis and carpal tunnel syndrome, specifically associated with the use of technology. Long-term computer work or repeated or forceful bending of the wrist can cause tendinitis or CTS, computer technology strain. Tendinitis is an inflammation of the tendon due to repeated motion or stress on that tendon. Symptoms of this include extreme pain that extends from the forearm to the hand, along with tingling in the fingers. I would say and or, but I'm not sure. I'm not in the medical area. Carpal tunnel syndrome, CTS. I said the other one wrong. Long-term computer work or repeated or forceful bending of the wrist can cause tendinitis or carpal tunnel syndrome. Uh, Carpal tunnel syndrome is inflammation of the nerve that connects the forearm to the palm of the wrist. It includes burning pain when the nerve is compressed, along with numbness and tingling in the thumb and the first two fingers. I think the research on this for the technology related repetitive strain injuries is advancing daily on that. Health concerns using technology, part 2. Computer vision syndrome, technology related health condition that affects your eyesight. I see this all the time. This is one that is um, easily spotted with people. You may have CVS, computer vision syndrome, if you have sore, tired, burning, itching, or dry eyes, blurred vision, blurred or double vision, blurred distance vision, a headache or sore neck, difficulty shifting focus between your computer screen and documents, difficulty focusing on the screen image, color fringes, or after images, increased sensitivity to light. This is not thought of to have serious or long-term consequences, and it can be helped if you sit properly, take an eye break every 10 to 15 minutes, and a walk break every 2 hours. So I touched on this before, but we'll talk about it again. Ergonomics is the applied science devoted to incorporating comfort, efficiency, and safety in the design of items in the workplace. It has shown it is shown that using correct type and configuration of chair, keyboard, display device, and work surface actually helps users to work comfortably, efficiently, and protects their health. So you can hire an ergonomic consultant to evaluate your workplace and make recommendations. As I stated in chapter one, a lot of companies will do this. If you request this, they'll bring one in for you. Larger companies will do this automatically for you. And even smaller companies will purchase chairs for you and desks for you, um, uh, keyboard pads, mouse pads with wrist guards to help you to feel more comfortable, so that you're at your best and to help reduce any possible health risks. So your monitor is supposed to be 18 to 28 inches distance, and your viewing angle is supposed to be about 20 degrees. Your keyboard is supposed to be 23 to 28 inches, depending on your height, and your elbows are supposed to be at 90 degrees or parallel to the floor. And you should have an adjustable chair with five, they recommend five um, prongs on it on the bottom, so that you have stability, and it should be adjustable. And then another thing that they didn't mention is a lot of people are using these computer lifts now, so that even while they're working, they can move from a sitting position to a standing position. Moving on to behavioral health risks. So technology addiction is one, and that's when somebody becomes addicted, or obsessed with technology. The other one is technology overload, and that's when somebody becomes distressed when they're deprived from technology. Both of these are treatable. So, chapter summary. This chapter was a much quicker chapter. There are a lot of links out there. I'll cover this in the next slide. Okay, I did cover this in the next slide. So let's just go over the chapter summary. Understand, differentiate, and define the characteristics of computers and devices, all of the different types of defined computers and devices. Understand, differentiate, and define the characteristics of servers, supercomputers, mainframes, which is not listed here, terminals, and embedded computers. Know the different types of port connectors. Just understand the different types of port connectors. If you get, most of those are common knowledge. Table 3.3 in the book does a really good job. It's missing just a couple, and Table 3.3 in the book is actually really good for that. And as I said, it's only missing a couple of them. Don't worry about all of the different DVI connectors that I listed. Be aware, though, that the different DVI connectors, you're going to have a different connection. So if it's a DVI dual versus a regular DVI cable connector, then you're going to have, how can I say this simply? A DVI dual is going to have more information going through it than a regular DVI cable is going to have. So common sense sort of things with the connectors are important to know. Identify and prevention of hardware theft and failure. Know the different sorts of things that can happen to hardware. natural disasters, floods, fires, um, the water from the fire suppressant system. Most server rooms should have a different type of fire suppressant system, but either way, hardware can succumb. If you have a office, a floor of personal computers, and your fire alarm goes off, which sparks the water fire suppressant system to go off, then that's a lot of money to replace all of those machines. So fire is another one. I don't remember if I said that I was going to cover this. Cloud computing is good for that, at least in the fact that if you do back up to the cloud, then if you have a fire in the building, even if you're doing backups on your server, regular backups, comprehensive backups, your backups tend to be housed in the same building. If you have a flood, then all of your backups are housed in the same building. If you have a fire, all of your backups are housed in the same building. If you back up to a cloud service, then they are not in the same building. So even if you only did a monthly backup, at least you only lost a month worth of data. So that's one of the reasons why the cloud has become so popular with businesses, because they can easily do their offsite backups. Uh, it's become very popular with businesses, for that being one of the big reasons. Health concerns, know the health concerns. We've gone over these twice now, and their prevention. And review the study guide and the terms at the end of the chapter. Hang on, guys. We're almost there. Almost done. Okay, assignments and projects. All right, week 3. Oh, week 4. That's the wrong week. All right, watch the. Okay, don't pay attention to that, week 3. So we're on week 4. Watch the linked videos. There's a document editor project, and there's a Google Share Drive project. Read any supplemental information, and there should be a quiz this Friday on the syllabus. Expect a quiz next week. So again, quizzes and tests are on Fridays, so expect a quiz/test next Friday on the material that we've covered as of now. So through chapter 3. I think that's what I meant by week 3, chapter 3. So expect a quiz/test through chapter 3. I don't want to wait too long to give you guys a test, because that's too much material to cover. So quiz this Friday on the syllabus. Document editor, Google Share Drive. You guys did great on the HTML project. That was really awesome. Well done. That was really done. And the research projects. Oh my gosh, some of the things you guys came up with, I was like, that is so cool. So yeah, you guys came up with some really great stuff for the research, the email and search engine project. There were some great topics. So thank you for that. I really do appreciate those. Those were awesome. And the HTML assignment, you guys did great with that too. So awesome job. And you guys have a great week. And I will talk to you next week. This time, oh, actually next week it'll be Tuesday. So it'll be a day later next week. All right, you guys, thank you.